Good evening and welcome to the Township of Clark Council meeting. It's Monday, August 18th, 7:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff. Here. Councilmember Hund.
Here.
Councilmember Mazzarella is absent. Councilmember Minetti.
Here.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Here.
Councilmember Toll.
Here.
Council President Smith.
Ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence, and a special moment of silence for Thomas Lewis, who we recently lost, who is a Board of Ed member and a lifelong resident of Clark. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, as adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by mailing the annual schedule of meetings to the Star Ledger, the Leader, Union County Local Source, and Tappan to Clark, by posting such annual meeting schedule on the bulletin board in Town Hall reserved for such announcements, the official website of the Township, and the proper filing of said notice. Formal action may be taken at this meeting.
Great, thank you. I'd like a motion to suspend the regular order of business.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. All right, we're going to announce the winners of the Clark Through the Lens photo contest. Mayor Albanese, please take the main podium.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask Michelle Ruiz from Cary to come up and join me. Michelle and I happen to work together at Cary, and it's really a pleasure to see you here tonight. And we want to thank Cary because we have some gifts for our award winners in our photo contest. So we had a photo contest for everyday pictures in Clark that represented people, nature, and wildlife. And we had 50 entrants. It was really a tough decision to come up with the finalists, but what we'd like to do is give out the awards tonight. So our first award winner for third place is John Sartoretti. John, would you come up?
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So, we're going to take a picture, but before we do, I just want to say that John took a picture of a blue jay at Jackson Pond. Beautiful work, and I think what we're going to do is stand over here. We'll take a picture together. You stand in the middle, John. John? Okay, our second place award winner is Lan Gee. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And she took a misty morning picture at Oak Ridge Park. So would you come up? I'll present the certificate and we'll take a picture with that. And Michelle is giving you the prize. And why don't we have your husband come up? We can take some pictures. Okay. Our first prize winner is Aaron Simsek. He's not here tonight. I'll meet with him separately. But he took a picture of the bald eagle at Jackson Pond. So, really tremendous picture. So once again, we want to thank Kerry for participating in this community event, Michelle. And thank you so much.
Thank you. You're more than welcome to stay, or you can leave. I'll wait a second or two. Great, thank you. Beautiful pictures. Thank you. Okay, I'd like a motion to resume the regular order of business.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Get a second. Councilman Hun, thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, I have to make a motion to go into private. Can I get someone for that motion?
I'll move.
Let me see, Councilwoman Hoff, and then second was Councilman O'Connor. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, we have to go into private for a few minutes, so please stay comfortable, and we'll be back shortly. Thank you. regular order of business? Thank you, Councilman Toll, and then second, Councilman Hun. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, now we're going to move to mayor and township officers. All the reports given this evening are available in the clerk's office and on the township website. Mayor Albanese.
Thank you, Mr. President. As was mentioned earlier, we have some sad news as we have lost a devoted leader, educator, and friend in Mr. Tom Lewis, who passed away this past week. During this more than 20 years of service on the Board of Education, he brought vision, integrity, compassion, love, and joy to his role and helped shape policies and programs that will continue to impact our schools for years to come. His leadership, wisdom, and steady presence made him a pillar in our community and an inspiration to all who had the privilege to work alongside him and to be his friend. On behalf of myself, the Township Council, all our municipal employees, we extend our deepest condolences to Tom's wife, Karen, and his two sons, Tom and Dave, and his family, friends, and colleagues. His legacy will live on in the lives he touched and the community he helped build. Okay, moving on. Referring back to thinking of the schools, I did want to mention to the community that we have a Clark School District bond referendum special election on September 16th, 2025. And I really encourage the citizens of Clark, in order to maintain our school facilities, I hope that you'll vote yes on September 16th, 2025 for the school's bond proposal referendum. The Board of Education and their financial advisors have structured the bond so that there'll be no tax impact, budgeted school funding. So in other words, the debt payments will be equal to the previous bond debt payments, which will be replaced with the new bonds to cover the needed capital improvements necessary to maintain our two grammar schools, the middle school, and our high school. Specifically, new phone systems, playground equipment, and various capital needs. Most important, passing this bond, the school will be able to obtain state aid for 40% of certain of the expenses that are going to be incurred. So I encourage you to go on the school's website and take a look at, there's a video that they have, and also some flyers regarding what will be purchased and the project breakdown. So again, that's on September 16th, so please come out and vote. And for the month of July, I'd like to give a police update on motor vehicle stops. We had 249 stops, 25 radar details this past July, and 10 traffic enforcement stops. And that concludes my report for now. I'll have some comments later on in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Albanese. Councilmember Hoff.
Thank you. To echo the mayor from the Board of Education was going to repeat about the bond referendum, so I think that was a great explanation. There's information on their website, and it is tax neutral, so hopefully everyone comes out and shows a strong support on September 16th. For the library, this is incredible to me. The library had over 13,219 visitors for the month of July and recorded 26,033 website and social media visits. They are doing so many things, which again are available on their social media channels and on their website, but they're doing, in September, adult computer training workshops. They have, registration is required, so if you're interested, they're having a resume building workshop on September 11th. The Friends of the Library book puzzle jewelry sale is Saturday, September 27th. They're doing a book sale and puzzle sale. And then additional events that are occurring for the month include a scavenger hunt, an escape room challenge, cider and donuts, raffle prizes, pumpkin painting and crafts, and more are things that are coming up in the future. And on Thursday, September 25th, they are doing a Fall into Fun at the library and open house. So that is Thursday, September 25th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And that concludes my remarks for the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hun.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have tonight's, or I should say July's, Clark Police Department report, which saw a total of 2,137 calls for service, including but not limited to 147 ambulance requests, 96 alarm calls, 3 arrival calls for mental health requests, 2 attempted burglary, 70 fire department requests, 6 fraud/identity thefts, 5 motor vehicle and residential lockouts, 83 motor vehicle accidents, 25 shoplifting and thefts, and 209 911 calls, and 1,199 miscellaneous calls. There were a total of 20 adult arrests during the month, including but not limited to 3 for warrants, 13 for shoplifting, 3 for DUI, and 1 for unlawful taking. The Youth Aid Bureau report will be handed out for September, so there's no youth report this month. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Minetti.
Thank you, Council President. In July, the Clark Fire Department responded to 97 calls, bringing the total calls for the year to 378. Incidents included but are not limited to, there was 2 fire-related calls, 28 for rescue and emergency management, 10 for hazardous conditions, 18 for services and good intent calls, 30 related to false alarms, 8 for severe weather and natural disaster. Last month, our community faced several storms, and I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the Clark Fire Department, as well as the Police Department, Emergency Management, and Department of Public Works for their vital roles during these recent weather events. Their dedication and hard work were instrumental in keeping our town safe. The full report is available in the clerk's office. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor.
Thank you very much. From the Finance Committee, the township continues to be able to meet its current obligations. Thank you very much, Jim and your team. And then from the Clark Volunteer Emergency Squad, in July, the squad added 1 new probationary member. The squad currently has Ambulance 515 out for remounting, and the county has lent us an ambulance to be available should Ambulance 514 go out of service. The expected date of return is mid-August. Please check for recent fund drive requests and support as best you can. The call volume is as follows. July EMS had 125 calls with 3 mutual aid calls. This does not include any calls that were dispatched or canceled on. Total hours responding to calls is approximately 805 man-hours. This does not include any hours the members were on duty but not on calls. And year-to-date call volume is 797 calls. With regard to membership, for those who would like to assist the squad but may not have the time to do the EMT training, we are accepting applications for people who are interested in becoming drivers for the ambulance. Must be 18 years of age or older with a clear driving record. Anyone interested can email the squad at www.ourclark.org or membership@clarkems.org. And with regard to servicing the community, the squad hosted 4 blood drives in July and is looking to expand the number each month as the need for blood is increasing. Due to the urgent need for blood at this time, there will be a blood drive every Tuesday at the squad from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. in August. Please consider donating. The squad provided coverage at the 4th of July fireworks. Respectfully submitted, Lori Sheldon, trustee. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Toll.
Thank you, Mr. President. From the Clark Environmental Committee, the Environmental Committee will conduct the annual fall reservoir cleanup on Saturday, October the 18th, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. All participants are welcome to join us in front of the circular driveway at the Brewer Municipal Building, and where the reservoir will be attacked to pick up these offensive inflatables that get washed into the waterway, and we go out and help Mother Nature do a cleanup. So our only time in the year that we are actually able to go out and assist, and we like to help Mother Nature always. So you're all invited. I'll be talking more about this in September, but Saturday, October the 18th, from the desk of Mark Hayden, the chairman of the environmental cleanup. Rain date is Sunday the 19th. If you're able to join us, please come. I know people have a lot of things going on with the fall leagues, the sports, the soccer. If you have a few minutes or an hour or so to come in and help Clark's environmental needs, you're needed to come and help us clean the rest of it. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. From the Recreation and Pool, I just want to congratulate Ralph and his staff for another successful summer rec program, keeping the kids safe and having a fun environment. The Clark Community Pool closes on Labor Day. The day after, which is Tuesday, September 2nd, from 12 to 2 p.m., you can bring your dog to the pool for a doggy dip in the baby pool. And Ralph does ask that there's friendly dogs only. And the fall book with all the fall and winter rec programs will be coming out next week, and registration will begin the last week of August online. And if you have any questions, you can always stop in the rec office or contact Ralph at 732-428-8400. And that's the end of my report. Okay, when you're ready, we'll move on to ordinance appropriations and claims.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have one ordinance for public hearing, and for the record, there have been no objections received in connection with the proposed ordinance. Ordinance 25-25 is an ordinance of the Township of Clark, County of Union, New Jersey, adopting the amended and restated Westfield Avenue redevelopment plan for the property identified as Block 91, Lot 21, also known as 81 Westfield Avenue, Block 105, Lots 1.01, also known as 56 Westfield Avenue. Lot 2.01 is also known as 52 Westfield Avenue, and 26.01 is also known as Broadway near the intersection of Joseph Street, Clark, New Jersey, as shown on the official tax map of the Township of Clark, having been designated as an area in need of condemnation redevelopment.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'll open the meeting for public hearing. If anyone would like to come forward on this ordinance, please do so. State your name and the town you live in, and you'll have 5 minutes in duration. Just on this agenda, on this ordinance, if you have any questions. Okay, seeing no one, I'd like to close the public hearing. Thank you, Councilman Toll. Thank you, Councilman Hun. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, this time I'd like a motion to adopt the ordinance. Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Can I get a second? Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Jim, you have anything to add on this?
Well, as we've discussed in the last 3 meetings, really, it is the area where the old A&P Food Town was, and including now the new property of the Citizens Bank. We put the area in for condemnation area need to redevelopment in the event that we need to step in and deal with moving the process forward. From what I understand, there are negotiations and being finalized, so it probably won't get to that. However, we still will have that leverage in the event that we do need to use it. Again, as we discussed, the goal is primarily to revitalize and the underutilized property. It would be a density of 63 units per acre with a maximum of 140 dwelling units allowed. Is a minimum of 15% must be set aside for affordable housing, and it's not age restricted. This again helps us reach our housing provision required by the Mount Laurel and the COA process that we just went through. Overall, the parking would be approximately 1.7 parking spaces per unit. And then the non-residential is going to require 1 parking space per 400 square feet. One of the concerns that came out of this process is, the additional traffic on Westfield Avenue. There will not be a curb cut on Westfield Avenue, so to avoid having the additional traffic entering Westfield Avenue, and it's just going to be more of a walkable, mixed-use corridor, and it's going to be our, centerpiece, at least in that area, with the property going in across the street to, affordable housing, apartments, and retail. I don't know if anybody has any other questions.
Any questions for the EA? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Minity. Yes. Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted.
Okay, now we're going to move on to introduction of proposed ordinances, number 2.
First ordinance for introduction is 25-26, an ordinance to amend Chapter 248 entitled Peddling and Soliciting, Section 248-4B13 of the Code of the Township of Clark.
I get a motion? Thank you, Councilman Hung. Can I get a second? I'll second that, please. Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor. Any discussion?
Yeah,
Jim, you have anything to add?
Yeah, this is just an administrative change to the fingerprinting process to comply with the new state process for Identigo. So it's just formalizing the process from the state that we have to adopt.
Great, thank you. Anyone else, any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund. Yes. Councilmember Menitti. Yes. Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
The public hearing on this ordinance will be September 15th. Next is ordinance 25-27, an ordinance to amend Chapter 347 entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Section 36A entitled Left Turns of the Code of the Township of Clark.
Can I get a motion?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Get a second?
I'll second that, please.
Thank you, Councilmember Hund. Any discussion or questions up here? Jim, you have anything to add?
Yeah, this is just formalizing the requirements as approved or as required by the planning board. I mean, it's primarily for Manny's, Hackensack Meridian, Exxon, Bagel Supreme, and Hyatt Hills Golf Course.
Great, thank you for the explanation. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Menitti.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Public hearing on this ordinance is September 15th. Next is ordinance 25-28, an ordinance amending Chapter 3 entitled Administration of Government, Article 6 entitled Township Clerk, Section 3-14 of the Code of the Township of Clark.
Can I get a motion?
Motion?
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Can I get a second?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Any discussion? Jim, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, the reason for this is to establish a deputy clerk position in our office. So we will be appointing someone as a deputy clerk, and we just didn't have it as part of our ordinance.
Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Menitti.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Public hearing on this ordinance will be September 15th.
Okay, payment of claims, Councilman O'Connor.
Thank you. I have reviewed the bills for the month totaling $449,346.25. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now we're going to move to the citizens' hearing on the agenda. I'm going to open the meeting to the public on the agenda items. The public comment portion of the meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Code of the Township of Clark. Each person addressing the council shall give their name and the town in which they reside to the clerk. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and shall not exceed 5 minutes in duration. At the conclusion of the statements or questions from a member of the public, the council president, his or her discretion, may choose to respond or not respond. So if anyone would like to come forward on agenda items, you have 5 minutes of duration. Please come up to the podium.
Good evening, Ellen Mulligan, Wendell Place in Clark. Have some questions on resolution number 16, authorizing an emergency appropriation to finance the remediation of the damage to the storm sewer near the Robinson's Branch Reservoir. Can you tell me where the location of that would be, of that particular storm sewer?
Do you have any other questions, or is that the only one?
No, I have another
All
question
right.
about number 17.
Why don't you ask all your questions, and then we'll address the answers at the end.
Okay. Number 17, doing stream cleaning and wall rebuilding and 38 Wendell Place outfall construction and the amount of $966,300. Is that located on county property? And I understand that that area has been eroded immensely and needs to be repaired, but I just assumed it was on county property and was wondering why Clark is paying for it.
Right. Any other questions?
No?
Okay. You can have a seat, we'll address them, see if anyone else has to come forward. All right. All right, go ahead, Jim, you want to start with number, I guess, 16 first?
So 16 and 17 are both related. So 16 is authorizing us to spend money that wasn't originally part of the budget, primarily due to the storm, but, you know, other aspects associated with it. And, you know, so the two things that we're going, or really three things that we're going to be doing is on Oak Ridge Road, just at the bridge on the right-hand side before you get to the golf course, is that wall that's falling in. It has been damaged. We were working with the Congressman, Tom Kane, to get money. So every year they have for, you know, issues that, you know, towns have throughout each one of the congressional districts, it's community funding. As part of the community funding, last year we put in an application. It was approximately $3 million to shore up a bunch of walls in, you know, areas within the pumpkin patch. That money was not given out last year due to sequestering, and we were hoping to get it in 2026 when they open it up again. Unfortunately, we got the July 14 storm, which caused erosion to, you know, potentially undermine the wall. So as part of that, we wanted to fix that. We had the backup in the stream, so we had branches, silt, material that all came up through the pumpkin patch, so we're going to, you know, clean that out. And finally, we are going to be working on a retaining wall around one of the curves in the pumpkin patch. And the sewer on Wendell, I believe it's 38. I could look up the number, but I think it's 38. And that was, again, it's been something that's been going on, and this last storm just channeled it out. The question, though, being part of the reservoir, all of the storm sewers that flow into the reservoir are the township's responsibility. So irrespective of it going into the reservoir or not, because the storm sewer is right out the curb of 38 Wendell, it flows across the property where we have an easement. So we have, you know, dozens, if not, you know, hundreds of, you know, easements throughout the town for sewers, and that's just one of them. So it is our responsibility to fix. We had this discussion with the county manager, and it was, you know, it just, you know, progressively got worse. So this is another one of the things that we're dealing with. You know, we would have wished we had, you know, federal funds to help us, but we don't. Good news is we may be getting FEMA funds from some of this. We don't know how much or for what, but that's something that we are working through the FEMA application right now. So this way we can potentially, you know, reduce the amount, but it would be irresponsible to, you know, push this off. I mean, we could cross our fingers that we're going to make it, but if we get another storm like the July 14th storm, you know, it may cause issues and undermine, you know, all of the work that we've been doing throughout the town. So that's a long-winded answer to, you know, to the two questions.
Great. All right, thank you. Anyone else like to come forward before I close it on agenda items? All right, a motion to close this portion? Thank you, Councilman Toll. Can I get a second? Thank you, Councilmember Hun. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we'll move on to resolutions.
Okay. The first resolution is accepting a bid for township-owned real property located on Block 94, Lot 11, on Lionel Street, no longer needed for public use pursuant to NJSA 40A:12-13A, and authorizing the township attorney to prepare a deed of conveyance.
Can I get a motion? Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor. Can I get a second? Thank you, Councilmember Minetti. Any discussion? Any questions for the BA? BA, you have anything to
Yeah, this is property that we had appraised at $215,000. We had two bids, one at $265, one at $225. We are, in fact, as we've discussed in the past, looking at different pieces of property that we maintain from a DPW and a maintenance standpoint, and looking to offload them and put them to better use and hit the tax rolls. So here is just another one of those properties.
Great, thank you. Anyone else have any questions on this? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Minity.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. The next resolution is award of contract to Frank Galbraith and Son Excavation and Demolition for the collection and disposal of leaves in the amount of $51,000.
Can I get a motion?
I'll move that, please.
Thank you, Councilmember Hund. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. You have anything to add on this, Jim?
Yeah, other than it's $300 less than we were paying last year. Same vendor, though.
Great, thank you. All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Minity. Yes. Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay. Number 7 is accepting the renewal service agreement with Train US Incorporated for HVAC equipment services at the Clark Police Department in the amount of $20,260, and authorizing the business administrator to execute the agreement effective September 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2026.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Get a second. Thank you, Councilmember Hund. Jim, you have anything?
Just so everybody realizes, this contract is actually 16 months, so that's why it's a bit more expensive than it was last time. And as again, I'll repeat myself, but we're trying to get all of the contracts to expire on December 31st. So we spend 3 months negotiating contracts as opposed to expiring all throughout the year.
Great idea. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Minity.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 8 is authorizing the execution of a right-of-way agreement between the Township of Clark and GoNet Speed to permit the installation, use, and maintenance of poles within the public right-of-way to provide local exchange and inter-exchange services.
I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Can I get a second?
I'll second that, please.
Councilmember O'Connor. Any discussion? Jim, do you have anything?
This is just another internet provider that wants to service the community, and as the former mayor and council wanted to get additional providers throughout the town, and we contacted them, a bunch of them, and at least now we'll have 2 additional providers competing within the town. So hopefully you'll get better service at a much more reasonable price.
Great. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Minity.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 9 is seeking approval of the Director of the Division of Local Government Services for insertion of a special item of revenue in the amount of $39,507.17 for the Clean Communities Grant.
I get a Thank you, Councilman Toll. Get a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Any discussion? Jim, you have anything?
Yeah, this is just a grant that we received that we didn't have planned because we didn't know how much it was going to be. And like every other grant that's not proposed in the budget, we need to approve it to be part of the line item.
Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Minity.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay. Number 10 is seeking approval of the Director of the Division of Local Government Services for insertion of a special item of revenue in the amount of $16,720.86 for the National Opioid Settlement.
You get a motion? Thank you, Councilmember Hund. Second? Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Pretty self-explanatory. It's just another handout from the opioid settlement. Is there
Yeah,
going to be more coming? It seems like it's a bottomless pit.
It's going to continue to come over the next,
23 years.
yeah, I was just going to say, I think we got 20 years left or something like
Wow,
that.
okay.
And again, we work with the police department, the ambulance squad, the fire department on how to use it, because it's very restrictive on, what you can use it for. You can't use it for regular budget offsets, bonds, any interest or anything along those lines. It's, primarily for treatment, response, training, and then equipment. So Narcan, gloves, stuff along those lines.
That's awesome, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Manitti.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay. Where did I see? I'm sorry. Okay. Number 11 is seeking approval of the Director of Division of Local Government Services for insertion of a special item of revenue, the amount of $250,000 for the Capital Project Grant Program.
You get a motion?
I'll motion that.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Can I get a second?
Second that, please.
Thank you, Councilmember Hund. Anything to add? Nope.
Just
Pretty
adding
self-
this to the budget, it was the county grant that we are grateful to help us out with our pump station repairs.
Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Manitti.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
12 is authorizing the purchase and installation of equipment by Pumping Services Incorporated for the rehabilitation of the Sexton Village Sewage Pumping Station through the New Jersey Wastewater Cooperative Pricing System in the amount of $249,181.90.
You get a motion? Thank you, Councilmember Hund. Get a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Pretty self-explanatory. We got the grant in number 11, and it's being spent in number 12 for the pumping station. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Manitti.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 13 is authorizing the mayor and township clerk to execute a developer's agreement with 1180 Raritan LLC, Chase Bank.
You get a motion?
I'll move that, please.
Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor. Second? Thank you, Councilmember Hund. Any discussion or questions? Jim, do you have anything?
I mean, I have a few things to say. I mean, this is the developers agreement. There seems to be a lot of confusion about what it really does. All this does is memorialize all of the approvals that went through from the planning board. There's no secret deal, there's no extra money in there, there's no other, type of criteria associated with it. I mean, it really gets into, what the affordable housing compliance is, either units or not. I mean, this one doesn't have obviously units, but then there's payments associated with it. It could, what type of infrastructure and site improvements, electric charging stations, curbs, things along those lines. Financial performance, including bonds and escrows and, how the engineer is going to be paid, how the inspection is going to be paid for, and then, bonds in the event that they don't complete some of this work, right? And then finally, it's just the framework, the legal framework around what was approved. I mean, it's more of an implementation tool than, any type of, special deal or special information or anything that's in there. And it really uses a binding contract between the builder and the municipality, memorializing everything that's been approved. So, I mean, I just want to make sure that people understand what this is about. It's obviously it's not for the council because the council has, gone through this numerous times, but it's for the residents who, may be confused. Specifically for this one, right? So it is for the construction of the Chase Bank, approximately 3,368 square feet, including a drive-through. It's actually in the Hackensack Meridian, Chili's parking lot. It details where the parking needs to be, how much parking is in there, how the stormwater needs to be maintained, and the landscaping. The construction compliance aspects of it, they have to follow all of the township ordinances and the planning board resolutions and any of the site pre-approvals. So that is the traffic pre-approvals, the police pre-approvals, the fire pre-approvals, and so on. They're required to have a pre-construction meeting with the township engineer and the construction code official to lay out all the ground rules. And then at the end, they need to, supply us with an as-built drawing on exactly what was done, if there were any minor changes, and, before they could even get their money back from their performance bond. There's a safety and stabilization guarantee involved, there's an engineering escrow, and then there's a maintenance guarantee, which is for 2 years after that. So they got to make sure that the trees that they plant, that the curbs, the sidewalks, any type of infrastructure changes are maintained for 2 years. And then again, they have to comply with, as I said, the board's professionals, EV chargers, and they need to pay the affordable housing fee, sewer connection fees, and all taxes and escrows before any of the permits will be issued. So they have to comply with all of the, prerequisites before the permits are there. They need to obtain permits from Union County, RVSA, New Jersey DEP, et cetera, right? So anybody who their property affects, they need to also get those approvals. It details the insurance requirements for general liability, auto liability, workers' comp, and the township must be additional insured with a 60-day cancellation notice, so we know that they're going to be canceling if they do. And then they have to maintain the street cleanliness, stormwater maintenance, and that's when they put the hay bales and snow fences around, different areas to make sure that you don't have leakage, access to bathrooms. It says that, we can perform work if they don't perform it, right? So if they don't follow through with all the requirements, we could actually do it. And then any obligation associated with this, if they sell the property, it automatically transfers to the purchaser. And then obviously an indemnification that the developer holds the township harmless for any claims in litigation. So, and that's, again, you've all read it, you know what the process is. It's, again, just to reiterate what we are in fact doing.
Thank you for the
I'd
detail.
like to add a little clarity to that.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yeah, so some of the confusion was why it wasn't available for the public to see prior to us signing it. And as the attorney had stated, it's a deliberative document at that point, all right? So because of that, it's not available through Oprah, not because of the Township of Clark, because that's New Jersey statute. So I have in front of me here the Oprah form that people fill out when they want things Oprah'd, right? They want a record of what was said or what was done. So one of the things it talks about in here is your request for records is denied for the following reasons. And the first thing it talks about is interagency or intra-agency advisory, consultative, or deliberative material, right? So it's not a public document, therefore it is not operable and it doesn't exist. That's by state statute NJSA 47:1A-1.1. Again, state statute says we can't do it. I know some people may disagree, but we follow the law. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Minetti.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay, number 14 is authorizing submission of an application for the Union County Kids Recreation Trust Fund grant in the amount of $32,600.
Actually, I'm going to move that one. Can I get a second? Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor. Any discussion? This is for the new, pickleball courts, other ping pong tables floor mats.
Yeah, this is, one of the key things in this is upgrading the infields of the softball fields. So that's both the Nolan and Nelson fields, right? They've been in a state that they needed to obviously be upgraded. So we are, working on that. Pickleball, ping pong tables, like you said, foosball tables. We're putting in some bike racks, safety floor mats, and, a pool vacuum for the municipal pool. So these again, are, standard, this is a standard grant that we apply for every year. These are the things that the Recreation Department determined that it was important to them for this year.
Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Maniti.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
15 is authorizing submission of an application for the Greening Union County Grant.
You get a motion?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Get a second? Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor. Anything to add? I believe it's for, 30 trees? It's a matching grant?
It's a matching grant. We're going to have 15 red maples, 15 red buds, and if anybody'd like them, they could contact me, ba@rclark.com, and then we will be putting them out. Not sure if they're going to be ready for the fall. It's probably going to be the spring of 26.
Anytime. Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Maniti.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 16 is authorizing an emergency appropriation to finance the remediation of the damage to the storm sewer pipe near the Robinsons Branch Reservoir exacerbated by the July 14, 2025 storm, to be provided for in full by the adoption of a bond ordinance by December 2025, and to certify that the expenditures to be financed through this resolution are related to the emergency.
You get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Jim, do you have anything else to add?
No, again, I just want to make sure everybody realizes that, this is worst-case scenario. We are hoping to get some additional funds in, especially from FEMA, to offset some of these costs. Not sure how much, but, this is, again, worst-case scenario of, just work that we need to do.
And hopefully our congressman will come up with some funds as well. Nice.
Well, it wasn't his fault in 2025, 2024. They pulled them. When they were doing the budget, they didn't do it in 2026 because they pulled them in 2025, and then hopefully we get them in 2026. Time flies when you're having fun.
Fingers crossed. Great. All right, roll call,
Exactly.
please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund. Councilmember Maniti.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Seventeen is authorizing the Pumpkin Patch Brook stream cleaning and wall rebuilding and 38 Wendell Place outfall construction, award of contract to Montana Construction Incorporated through the Bergen County Cooperative Pricing System in the amount of $966,300.
Thank you. I get a motion? Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Get a second? Thank you, Councilmember O'Connor. Anything else to add to this, Jim?
No, I think I said enough.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Maniti.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay, we go on to the consent agenda. The following items are considered routine and non-controversial items by the Township Council and will be enacted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda to be discussed and voted on, following the approval of the remaining items listed on the consent agenda.
Before you read them all, I think the mayor or BA would like to make some comments on some of the consent agendas for information.
Yes. As part of this, of these resolutions, there are several tax appeals, and I just want to remind us all here that when there is a tax appeal, the town absorbs all of the cost of the tax appeal. It's not allocated back to the county or the schools, and approximately $70,000 will be absorbed by the township for various tax appeals that are being covered tonight.
Great, thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk?
Okay. 18 is appointing Edwin Sanchez as member of the Clark Volunteer Fire Department. 19 is amending the status of liquor license number 2002-33-003 for Whole Foods Market Group Incorporated from pocket to inactive. 20 is amending Resolution 25-144, issuing the refund of the cash performance bond for 8 Ivy Street. 21 is release of remaining guarantees and escrow to Spring Enterprise LLC for work completed at 60 to 62 Westfield Avenue. 22 is authorizing final payment to DLS Contracting for work completed on the 2024 capital road improvements in the amount of $7,128.60. 23 is ratifying the action taken by the business administrator for the submission of a grant application and execution of all necessary documents for the leaf composting grant program available from the DEP. 24 is appointing Nicole Castellucci as acting clerk, and Christina Deepak as alternate acting clerk in the absence of the township clerk. 25 is authorizing the tax collector to make the proper adjustments for 100% property tax exemption of Block 30.01, Lot 10, in accordance with a directive from the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. 26 is authorizing the tax collector to make the proper adjustments for 100% property tax exemption of Block 49, Lot 12.08, in accordance with a directive from the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. 27 is authorizing the tax collector to make the proper adjustments for 100% property tax exemption of Block 195, Lot 17, in accordance with a directive from the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. 28 is authorizing the tax collector to refund overpayment of taxes in the amount of $1,000. 29 is authorizing the tax collector to refund overpayment of sewer fees in the amount of $310. 30 is authorizing the tax collector to apply sewer account balance adjustments as credit in the amount of $3,750. 31 is authorizing the tax collector to settle a tax appeal for Block 148, Lot 15, as authorized by the Tax Court of New Jersey, with credit issued in the amount of $22,287.40. 32 is authorizing the tax collector to settle a tax appeal for Block 91, Lot 5.01, qualifier C0024, as authorized by the Tax Court of New Jersey, with credit issued in the amount of $764.73. 33 is authorizing the tax collector to settle a tax appeal for Block 63, Lot 46, as authorized by the Tax Court of New Jersey, with credit issued in the amount of $26,055.20. And 34 is authorizing the tax collector to settle a tax appeal for Block 60, Lot 22, as authorized by the Tax Court of New Jersey, with credit issued in the amount of $19,615.79.
Thank you. Motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Can I get a second? Thank you, Councilmember Hund. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Councilmember Hund.
Yes.
Councilmember Manitti.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes. Is there any new business on the calendar?
No new business.
Great, thank you. All right, now we're going to move on to public comments. I'll open the meeting to the public. The public comment portion of the meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A in the Code of the Township of Clark. Each person addressing the council shall give their name and town in which they reside to the clerk. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and shall not exceed 5 minutes in duration. At the conclusion of statements or questions from a member of the public, the council president, at his discretion, may choose to respond or not respond. So at this time, it's open to the public. If you'd like to come forward, please, again, just give your name, town you reside in, and you'll have 5 minutes in duration.
Good evening, John Greaves from Clark. I'm going to say something tonight that I've never said here in the chambers, and what that is that I am running for office. I am running against Mayor Albanese this year. I've made a point never to mention that here because I'm not really here to campaign. I'm here because I'm a concerned resident and I worry about my community. But you guys keep bringing that up like I'm insincere when I'm up here, like I'm only up here because I'm running a campaign. But it's actually the other way around. I'm running the campaign because I'm worried when I come up here that I don't feel like I'm getting the answers that the community deserves. When I bring up problems, a lot of times it seems like you don't even acknowledge that they're problems, and that concerns me. So you ask what I would do often, and you guys are the ones with the office, and the question keeps getting put back to me. So in general, I'll sort of explain some of the things that I think should be done different. I think we need a better advocate for our town residents' needs and a stronger negotiator for our town's future. That sometimes means saying no to 30-year tax breaks for developers.
They're not
that isn't
tax
saying,
breaks, they're pilot programs, Greaves. We've talked about this 50 times over
I
the
still
last
have my speech,
2
so
years. I'll give you your time.
sometimes that
Stop.
means saying no to 30-year tax abatements for developers. That isn't saying we shouldn't welcome smart development, but if you want to get a 30-year tax break, the benefits have to outweigh the costs. Otherwise, you can just pay regular price, like every other homeowner in Clark.
And who would develop?
Generally,
And who would
pilots
develop
shouldn't.
here?
Do I not have my time to speak or no?
You do. I'm going to stop the
you.
clock, and I'm going to just interject a second with you. I stopped it at 1:43, so you still have 3 minutes and 17 seconds. If we don't offer the pilot programs, and we spoke about this ad nauseum for years with you, the developers would never come into this town. So the properties that you talk about that we should maintain market rate taxes would never be developed. So would you prefer the A&P property to stay like it is, like it was the last 20 years, because a developer will never come develop it? Or would you like us to try to get a developer in here, and the way to do that is offer a pilot program? That's all I got to say. We've been saying that for 3 years now. So
Okay.
your time is back.
I'll continue my interrupted time. But generally, we shouldn't use pilots for residential properties. It adds students to the schools, which adds burden to the school, which is money that has to be paid to educate those students, and the pilot program does not include any payments to the schools. So who pays for that? The residential taxpayer, the homeowners. And I don't think that's right. If you want to use pilots for residential, maybe senior housing is an option, because I know it's something that a lot of residents would like, and it's something that doesn't add students to our schools. Another thing is that our local economy, small businesses, places for people to gather, is very important for our local economy. But if you look at the deals that you did, it actually reduced the number of small businesses. The Walnut Hill Apartments, there were a number of small businesses there, and now there's none. The CubeSmart, it had a small business there. People could get lunch there. Now it's a warehouse. And the new place that you just approved on Westfield Avenue, that place, currently, there's 2 small businesses there, and it's being replaced with 1. And it's a much smaller space as well. So I know that affordable housing is an important part of this, and you're going to bring that up. But the thing is that there's already an ordinance that requires it, and CubeSmart doesn't have affordable housing units in it. So we didn't get any benefit there. And for the $12 million or so over the 30 years that Walnut Hill has its exemption, you could almost buy the units yourself, not to mention that's already required by law. So the benefits don't outweigh the costs. There's more people, more traffic, more kids, fewer small businesses, and you want taxpayers to pay more for that? If you ask me what I would do, I would say no. I would say no to these bad deals. That doesn't mean slamming the door shut on development, but it means that we have to address the issues that I brought up, and I'm happy to say yes to those types of things, but that's not what's happening. So I think we could get regular taxes on a property that doesn't follow or doesn't address those issues. And like you said, if a developer doesn't want to build something, you know what I say? So what? So what? If it's a bad deal, it's better to have no deal than a bad deal. So to close, basically, I've been arguing this for 5 minutes with a month in between for like 2 years, and that's no way to address these issues. This should be a conversation. And so I was going to ask Mayor Albanese if she wanted to have a debate, but I think maybe we should have a town hall. We should have residents come and actually have a discussion about these issues. So if you're willing, I'm happy to do that. But basically, we need a public dialogue for our community. This 5 minutes with the choose to answer or not answer and interruptions, it's not a way to actually address the issues in a meaningful way for our community. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the council, Glenn Fogarty, live off Lake Avenue, Goodman's Crossing. I'm here to give Mr. Greaves some dialogue, call it Lincoln-Douglas debate, what have you. I did that in high school. I don't know if you did, but I sure did, and I had moot court in law school, Mr. Greaves. So I'm here to talk about this strange group, self-styled far-left progressive political group in here that calls itself Stronger Clark. They've been putting signs on people's private property, including one of the ethnic clubs in this town, and they had to remove it and put it in their dumpster. That's highly improper. Last November, they were putting Schulman stickers on public mailboxes, again, against federal law. But when you're dealing with ideologues, you know, it's all about being audacious and audacity and everything like that. You know, I remember a time when people ran as Democrat for council, Republican for mayor, but this strange group has to hide under the cult-like banner of Stronger Clark. And what does that even mean? Stronger taxes, stronger regulation. When, Mr. Greaves, has a Democrat like yourself ever complained about having to lower taxes? That's not part of your program. You love more taxes, more government control over everything. Stronger Clark, to me, sounds vaguely authoritarian, quite frankly. I mean, if you have authoritarian tendencies, that's your issue. But you get up here with this chip on your shoulder every time and then have the nerve to claim that this council is hostile. To me, for the past several years, Mr. Greaves, it looks like you're the hostile one. So I want to go down point by point as to who is Stronger Clark or who are their associates. Well, we have Mr. Greaves here, and I have yet to discern any government or business experience or financial management acumen, other than just being an activist. Comes up here with a litany of irrelevant details that are almost never on point, and then has the nerve to complain that the council is hostile to him. I will say that his finest moment was last year when he went boo-hoo and said, do I have to live here for 30 years for someone to pay attention to me? To me, that is the call of an attention seeker who's just has deep internal needs, that he needs attention from somebody, from anybody. Turning to another Stronger Clark figure, we've got Miss Mary Cortazzo-Semler. Last year, she ran as Cortazzo-Semler. Last time that she was here complaining, attacking the council for being hostile, said she was Mary Semler. I'm wondering what happened to the name Cortazzo-Semler. Was that just the ploy to get the Italian-American vote, kind of like Bill de Blasio changed his name from Warren Wilhelm to Bill de Blasio? I don't know. How about Bill Gribb? He's never here. He says he wants to be on the council. He says he's Mr. Moderate. Last year, he told me Stronger Clark gave him the boot. Now he's back in bed with them again. Where are you, Bill? Come on. Then we have their strong ideological influencer. Maybe he's not a made man of Stronger Clark, but he's a strong associate, as they would say. Rob Curry-Smithson-Patel. By next year, there'll be another hyphen name, maybe a couple more. I just don't get what this whole identity crisis. And he is a strong ideological influencer of Stronger Clark, and it was just passed on to me that Rob has endorsed Zoran Mondami, the self-declared communist, globalized the Intifada, anti-Jewish bigot, anti-Italian bigot who wants to get rid of Columbus Day, tear down Columbus statues, hates America, loves Hamas, loves Iran. Come on. I mean, if this is who Stronger Clark associates with, that's shameful. You know, I grew up in this area, and the thought to me of actual communists running and holding office. You know, Curry Patel was an employee of Comrade Bernie Sanders, who went to the Soviet Union for his honeymoon. That's all I've got to say tonight. I'm tired of this litany of comments from Stronger Clark, Mr. Greaves. Who, unlike me, I'll give Mr. Greaves this. He at least gets up here. He never makes sense, but he gets up here. Bill Gribb, where is he? You know, Bill Gribb, you know, you see his signs on the Stronger Clark thing.
You have 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And honestly, if Stronger Clark loves Clark, why are they always whining and complaining about it for the past 5 years? Come on, give me a break. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you. All right, seeing no one further, I'll have a motion to close this portion. Thank you, Councilman Toll. Get a second?
A second.
Thank you, Councilmember Maniti. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Councilmember Hoff, did you have anything?
May I?
Yes. You have the.
I'm still going to hold my comments for, on other things for after the mayor's part, but I just wanted to say, recording the recording, okay. I'm glad you finally referred to tonight's comments as a speech, because like many campaign speeches with rhetoric and manipulation, twisting of words, performative, it finally feels like something authentic came out. It is so uncomfortable to watch the misinformation and the twisting. It is an epic level of self-righteousness to be the self-appointed spokesperson for so many. You bring up CubeSmart, and I'm curious, and we can talk offline. You and I have had zero engagement, never approached me, never had a conversation. I welcome any sort of conversation with you. I would love to know, with all the talk, did you want CubeSmart to have more apartments? Because then that would contribute to that feeling, right? You bring up these wildly inconsistent things that just blow with the wind for whatever suits you in the moment. You referenced about the hurting small businesses and hurting the schools and developing properly. Do you want AMP to stay vacant? I'm pretty sure you've been talking at length about how that's such a blight on the community. Do you want small businesses to come here? Go online. There's a ton of commercial spaces available. There is no one stopping small businesses from coming here. It has nothing to do with the development of the few things that are available. And for the 1,000th time in the few 6 months that I've been up here, the enrollment is not exploding. The Board of Education has said they don't want anything. I don't understand how you can think that you know better than they do. It's uncomfortable, and it's, I don't know. You say something like, well, it's left to you guys. And I would say, yes, it is, because we have the facts, we have the information, we have an administration who follows the laws and does what they're supposed to do, and we're informed. We are the ones that people call when there's a problem, and we're also the ones that direct them to the people who are responsible for solutions. So I sit here tonight, I was going to say it later, I thought it was so great that there was Kenneth Place, Brook was cleared out, the DPW did a great job. The beautiful letter that came in from the community about that, thanking the administration and the DPW for doing what they're doing. And I understand, because when I ran for the Board of Ed, I stood up there as a 20-something-year-old where the only thing the internet offered me was Ask Jeeves. And I thought, I'm going to change the world, and I'm going to bring Target into the schools, and they're going to supply all the textbooks. And then I got on the Board of Ed, and I realized that's not how this works. But honestly, with all of the hyphens and everything else and the use of ChatGPT that's out there, I would say, look at what a council person does. Look at what Clark is supposed to do, and look at what our jobs and responsibilities are. And then you can come from a competent place to stand here with the accusations time after time and the twisting and the manipulations. And I hope that with the recording that you have there and the recording that's on the TV, that when you put this up, that it's the full clip in its entirety, including your comments all the way through to the end. And that is all I have to say on this at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim, do you have anything to add to answer these comments, or?
I mean, we've been through this, numerous times. We have competing factors here. One is the affordable housing requirements. The other is, development within the community. And no different than any person on council, the current mayor, the former mayor, or any one of the residents that, live here, are concerned about development. But unfortunately, until something changes within the state, we're going to need to have these houses or these apartments and to satisfy our affordable housing need. You know, we've looked at different options, up to and including talking to developers to, you know, bring in, you know, assisted homes. The price of the property is just too expensive. We've looked into the ability to have, you know, take over apartments or, you know, purchase apartments, do upgrades to the apartments. And, you know, the former candidate for mayor sent me an email and I went through it in detail of, you know, why they don't make sense, right? And it doesn't make sense not for us, for the owner of the property. You know, deed restricted titles, unable to, you know, the value of the property, if they sold it, will be down because of the deed restricted titles. You know, financing options. We went through line by line. I don't want to bore everybody here, but, and I had zero response. And this was probably 3 weeks ago. I don't even remember when. But, so there are things that we've looked at. We've tried them all. I can tell you unequivocally that there would be no way that they would be able to build the development on the A&P property with giving away 15% to affordable housing with some type of consideration, right? And it's
I got
either,
an idea. We'll keep the taxes as is, and we'll have Mr. Greaves rebate the difference in the 15% to the apartments. Is that what you want? I mean, 15% of 100, it's 15 apartments. If regular rate's 3,500 and the builder has to do 2,500, how's he going to make that money up without the pilot?
and
15,000 a month, he's losing minimum.
yeah.
That's why the pilots are here for the development.
And the problem is, it's not the township, it's not any municipality. Look at Westfield. Westfield 1, that's a giant pilot, right? The people aren't happy there either. And honestly, I don't blame them. I don't blame the people in Clark. I don't blame the people in Cranford. I don't blame anybody who's not happy. But it's not coming from us. It is coming from New Jersey. So really, if you want to do something, you need to address it with the state. These are just mandates. You know, we went through a process, and as, you know, council knows, the attorney knows, the mayor knows, we brought in a special attorney to deal with the affordable housing. And it is just a process. And unfortunately, we have to, you know, play by the rules. If we don't, look at what would happen, right? Builder's remedy. We have then no control over it. So they say, hey, you know, at least we got, you know, I think it was what, 63 units per acre. But, you know, if builder's remedy, they could come in 75, 100 units per acre, right? Go 5 floors. We have to protect the municipality, but by protecting the municipality, we do have to, you know, comply with the strategy that we set forth. And, you know, unfortunately, we are in the position, you know, and there's not much more that I can say. I mean, I think CubeSmart is a good deal, right? Because it doesn't add anybody to the schools. It doesn't add to traffic. I mean, everybody who lives in this town, you know, you'll see how many cars coming out of A&P, how many cars coming out of Clarkton, how many cars coming out of, you know, CubeSmart. Minimal, 0, most of the time. Right, so, you know, we are taking a holistic view of the township and how to manage the development, but when one hand's tied behind our back with this, you know, hammer over our head for affordable housing, you know, we have to play by those rules.
Great, thank you. All right, now we're going to move on to Mayor Council professional comments. Mayor Albanese.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before I respond to some of the comments, I just want to welcome our new volunteer fireman, Edwin Sanchez, as a member of the Clark Volunteer Fire Department. We've been really blessed this year to have so many volunteers join. So, Edwin, thank you very much. As far as Mr. Greaves, it's a little frustrating because he constantly contradicts himself. There are videos on their website that indicate that they are dissatisfied with the progress the township has made with getting rid of the old A&P. He constantly talks about getting higher salaries for teachers, yet complains about the school budgets. And I think Jim summarized it very well in terms of what is happening in the state. He has no concept at all of what is going on and the commitments and the burden, no matter which party you're in, that we are under, our administration, the township council here, to fulfill those needs for affordable housing. We have no land, we have no extra land in this town to build affordable housing, and we need to attract developers here with these incentives. This is no different than any other town. It just demonstrates a clear lack of understanding of what is happening and how the process works. I think that, and I could go on and on, you make a comment, we're not getting answers that the community deserves. You're just never satisfied with the answers that are given. You're not satisfied with what's being done. It's you personally. It's not the community. The community keeps in touch. They're speaking out and keep us abreast of what's on their minds. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. If anyone needs to reach me, you know how to reach me at Town Hall. Call my cell phone number, as you have done, and I will get back to you. But, you know, I just don't understand what your complaints are, and I feel you have a lack of knowledge of what's happening and how government works. That concludes my comments.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff.
Thank you. I wanted to say that we went to the National, Councilman Hunt and I were at the National Night Out with the Clark Police Department and EMS and the Fire Department and other organizations. It was a beautiful night celebrating some of the most important people and organizations and resources in our town. It was so nice to see so many people come out and the kids sitting on the back of various emergency vehicles. Their smiles were like reminiscent of a kid at Disney. I mean, just they were so excited. And another reason why we should obviously have such pride and support for our first responders was front and center last week. I think it was last week, when unfortunately there was that fire in town. So hearing from that family how supported they felt by the town, I thought was really wonderful and continues to show what the people of Clark are really about and the magic that occurs when our town comes together and how beautiful this community is. The town also came out big time for the opening and re-welcoming back of the Barnes & Noble in Clark. A bunch of us were there. It was amazing to see, and I think it's a great addition back in town over at the Commons. Tonight's officially the 6th month since I've been a part of the council, and I want to continue, of course, in this position for a long time to come. But I want to thank Mayor Albanese, the business administrator Jim, all the township employees, members of the administration, and last but not least, of course, my extremely experienced, knowledgeable, and very dedicated fellow council members who instantly welcomed me and have been very generous with their time and experience in helping me learn this role, and I'm very grateful. It's amazing how in such a short period of time, those who are sitting up here become part of your life and your day-to-day. I know that the mayor did a beautiful job, but I feel obligated to just add that, you know, about 20 years ago, I got elected to the Board of Education with Tommy Lewis, and for 3 years, we were attached at the hip, or maybe the ear, because we were on the phone all the time, and I was like the little yippy chihuahua to his like older German Shepherd type person, and day in and day out, we spent so much time together at committees, in what was, quite frankly, it felt like a complete overhaul of the Clark School District, a very tumultuous time. We had 5 or 6 superintendents in such a short period of time, and it was total chaos. And again, that like little eager puppy, he always referred to me as like a dog with a bone. But together, I think we did amazing things. And it blows my mind that while I got off the Board of Education and got married and had 3 children, one who's going to drive next month, he was a volunteer on the Board of Education that whole time. So many people just at my job, my office in Rahway, there's so many people who have talked to me about Tommy in the past couple days. And I know that his passing leaves a hole in the hearts of many. I'm very grateful for the time I had with him in my younger years. And and he helped teach how to be part of an organization and have confidence when I was 23. And is a great example of someone who's so dedicated to the community. He's always been a huge supporter. I'm very grateful for the time I spent by his side as his Girl Friday sometimes, and it's a huge loss for the Clark and Rahway communities and beyond. So I would like to say thank you, and who he was for so many people. And again, to echo the mayor, extend my deepest condolences to his family and all the members on our Board of Education and the administration who I'm sure are feeling that loss. I would also like to just, again, thank our BA Jim and the DPW and the mayor for help coordinating all the manual work that went into clearing the brook on Kenneth Place. I grew up there, so it was extra special. But the length of the note that came from a resident over there talking about what a positive experience was working with the town or talking to the town, and the fantastic job that they did. So I just want to say thank you. And lastly, it's been bumpy as one who's connected to the entirety of the town by Valley Road, but I am grateful for all of the road improvements that are being made, short-term inconvenience, long-term gain. So that is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hund.
Yes, thank you, Council President. Councilmember Hoff took a lot of the things that I was going to mention. I'm not reasonably sorry. One of which is Mr. Lewis. May he rest in peace, and for his family, the condolences to his family. And he played an important role in both towns, or two towns, I should say, Rahway and Clark. And he holds a special place in my heart for his time and dedication he gives to children in athletics, and he did that for my children. And eternally grateful for the time he took for my children, for everyone else's children that played sports, and his dedication to the Board of Education. Valley Road, as we know, is being repaved, so that should be hopefully nice and smooth by the end of the week or early next week, and we're all looking forward to having a smooth road there. Barnes & Noble was another, I'm not sure why we're echoing. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Barnes & Noble was a good experience. Spoke to the project managers there, who were very happy that we put in the ordinance regarding electric vehicles. They explained to us how the children are driving through their shrubbery and ruining it, so hopefully that will slow down a little bit and take place there and on the other portions of the town where they seem to like to ride their bikes. To the Merricks, our prayers are with them. The township has shown tremendous support to them. The day of the fire, the response that was there, I was up on Blake Avenue a few times, and just the outpouring of support that was there for the family, the response by our local first responders and multiple towns that came to assist in that tragedy. Congratulations to Edwin Sanchez on becoming a volunteer fire department. As I just said, you could see our firemen there doing what they do, and their training is very important. And seeing friends of mine coming out of the house, knowing that they risked their lives going in there and coming out and needing to take a breather because it was an intense fire. So the more people that we can have volunteer for that, the better. And just to go back to the police night out, as council member Huff mentioned, there was a little girl there who was afraid I shouldn't say afraid, but shy when looking at a fire truck, and I asked her if she wanted one of the little red hats that the firemen were giving out, and she said yes, and when the fireman gave it to her, her smile was ear to ear, and that's what our first responders do in this town. They're very good to our town, so if we can return that in any way possible, that would be an awesome thing to do. And I'm rambling on a little bit, so I'll conclude with that, and have a good evening.
Councilmember Minetti.
Thank you, Council President. So I'm going to keep my comments brief, but I do want to mention, just some of the things that were spoken at the mic today. If you're like me and most of the residents in Clark, we drive down Westfield Avenue and we see that dilapidated, ugly building called the old A&P, Food Town, whatever you call it. And it's time that actions have to be taken on that property, and I'm glad to see that the mayor and the business administrator are working diligently to, get an agreement with a developer. One of the things that bothers me that was said is that if we can't come to some kind of agreement, so be it. So be it. Just, Bad for them, good for us. I want you to think this through, that if they say no to us, they're going to say yes to somebody else. That means they're going to develop a building somewhere else. Just look around the towns. Go to Roselle Park, go to Garwood, go to Scotch Plains, go to Rahway. That a developer has opportunity to do business somewhere else. So we have to make an agreement to make them do business with us. Now, I'm not saying we have to, like pilots or we have to like them, but we have to accept them because they're a part of everything going on. And, for the developers and the business owners in our town, they know that the rising cost of material, the rising cost of labor, the rising cost of insurances, the rising cost of everything is hindering their ability to make money. And that's why they're in business. They're developing to make it financially advantageous for them. And if we can't, somebody else will. It's happening all over the state. It's just something we have to deal with. About the CubeSmart building, that building, Bob's Lunch, and remember as a Clark Lunchbox, was very near and dear to me. It's where my family worked when I was a little boy. I folded newspapers in that place. But we had to do something on that property to, I think, make it look nicer as a person that owns a property, to make a longer term lease or rental deal. So it is a small business that owns the property. So don't look at it as a conglomerate. I mean, it's a franchise, and I'm happy to see development. I think it's a good thing. And I think it does help small businesses, because as a small business owner, I do use storage facilities to store materials. So, Ms. Greaves, I didn't laugh when you were up here, and it's kind of disrespectful, but I'm being very respectful to you and hoping that one day that you come up and see the light, see it on both sides, that we're not here just for us. We're advocates of the people of Clark because they chose us. And, we always have to remember that, and I try to, is that, I can't put one or two individuals ahead of the people of Clark. So I think that, and by the way, for somebody who comes up and the first words out of their mouth is, this is not political, however, I'm running for mayor, to me, that it's all political. And it's sad, because this is a meeting about the people of Clark. It's not about who I am as a, political or what I believe in, and it's not for the people that come to the mic, and the same thing. We have to do what's right for the people, and I believe we do 100% of the time, not 99% of the time. With that, I want to express my condolences to Tom Lewis's family. He's been, a great supporter of, the Booster Club, which I'm president of. He's also been a big supporter of our student athletes. I've seen him at all games, and, it's sad to see his passing, and I want to wish his family, my condolences, and from my family, it's a huge loss to our community. I attended the Barnes & Nobles also, and I just want to congratulate them. I think they did a great job, and I was literally surprised about all the people that waited online for the opening of Barnes & Nobles, and I just think it's a great place, and I'm really happy that they're in Clark. And congratulations to Edwin Sanchez as a member of the Clark Fire Department. And finally, just want to mention that the ALJ Booster Club is now holding their annual membership drive. The Booster Club is a nonprofit that supports our student athletes at the high school. We run the snack stand on Friday night football games. We're at the basketball games. And we'd like to raise money to give scholarships and money back to our student athletes at the high school. So our annual membership drive has started, and hope that, we can get our membership up this year. So with that, that concludes my report, and I, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Councilmember O'Connor.
Thank you very much. I want to start off by giving my condolences to the Lewis family. Tommy Lewis, I knew him. Did I know him well? Not as well as other people do, or not as well as I would have liked. But one thing about Tommy, whenever I spoke to him, he spoke to me like I was his best friend for 25 years. One of the nicest people you've ever met, concerned, listened to understand, not listen to respond. He was a good guy. And, the reputation Tommy had, not only in Rahway, but in Clark, is a volunteer. And, I know the wake is on Wednesday, and I know it's going to be a lot of people. It's at the high school, it's Roe High School, right? I mean, yeah, it's Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. I mean, they're expecting a lot of people. Not because he was an athletic director, not because he was a school board member, but because Tommy Lewis was a great guy. I mean, that's what you hope for, right? That's what we all hope for when it's our time, to be remembered as somebody who was a great guy and somebody who cared. And I know myself and a lot of other people on this council, probably all, I don't want to speak for anybody, I'm sure they think the same. We heard tonight through my report, and we saw on the consent agenda, we have new people starting. We have a probationary member on the emergency squad. We have a new member starting on the fire department. Again, volunteerism in Clark is there. People want to give back to the town. People like this town. Again, I grew up here, Jimmy grew up here, Jess grew up here. I mean, Brian grew up here. We love this town, we give back. We always do for the town what's best for the town. And Jimmy Minetti said it best. We put the people before us. And that's what we're doing. One person can't dictate what we do for the people. Jimmy, I didn't mean to take it from you, but you did a really nice job saying that. Thank you. School starting, right? School starting means there's going to be kids crossing the street, not at the crosswalk like they should, but it also means traffic, right? It's going to start again, so please be patient. Have a safe Labor Day. Labor Day is coming up, obviously. And, you know, on the consent agenda tonight, there were 3 items here. There was 26, 27, and 28, 100% property tax exemption by director from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. And it's a great time to remember who we should thank for the freedom we have, and that's the veterans. So let us not forget, and you have an opportunity to thank the veterans. Let's do so because of them, we have the free government we have. So thank you. Those concludes my reports.
Councilman Toll.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to do this quickly because I usually do with the hands. My memory of Tommy Lewis when I heard Saturday that he had passed, that I'd heard he had gotten sick and then he passed. First to Karen, to Tommy Jr. and David, our condolences. This community mourns as one. Tommy Lewis was a part of the family. He was us. He was family of Clark and also Rawley. First time I met Tommy Lewis, it was at some political function in '02. I knew who he was. I knew he was married to the Boyle daughter, who my father was good friends with, Neil Boyle. So it was the Kevin Boyle connection in Clark. If you know anything about Kevin Boyle, his family, and so on. So what happened was, Tommy Lewis comes up to me at an event and goes, "You're a madman." I go, "What?" He goes, "You're a madman. I love the way you work. You're just focused and you get the history and you go and do the job." I didn't know he was a coach, and I got to know who he was and what he was talking about. And I goes, "Yeah, I guess I'm a madman." He goes, "You're focused, you're laser focused, and that's what I wanted in my players." I said, I was a clod and a dunce when it came to sports, but I tried. He goes, "That's all you got to do. That's all you have to do on that dais is give back to who you are, what you feel you're good at, and do your homework." Ed Ayers, who founded the library, always said, "Plan your work, work your plan. Plan your work, work your plan. If you have a question, go out and ask it. It doesn't hurt to ask a question, but as long as it makes sense, not poking at fun at anybody." But Tommy Lewis called me a madman, and I thought that was bizarre, but I loved it because it made me more motivated to do the right thing. Over the years, 20 some odd years later, I was very sad because that madman comment really stuck in my mind. What a great guy. Not a friend to just Clark, but to 2 different communities in your lifetime. You've given so much back. You touched so many lives. You go to the pearly gates and St. Peter's going, "Great job, get in here. We got first row for you." To Karen, David, Tommy, the Azels, who are all connected to that family, our condolences. This community will never forget such a great man. We also had another passing that kind of went through the cracks. Harold Raymond Palmer, U.S. Army veteran. Please note this. U.S. Army veteran, World War II. He served and survived the Battle of the Bulge. A resident of Clark for over 50 years. Father of Raymond Palmer, Clark PD, retired. Father-in-law of Patty Azel Palmer. That's what mixing the 2 together, from the Boyles and the Azels. Ray Palmer was a longtime Clark police officer, always a good guy, always, "Hey, why don't you do things this way?" He was a traffic officer. But I got to know his dad, who I didn't know he was that old. But to get to 100 years of age, to survive something like, if you know history and what happened at the Battle of the Bulge, It's an incredible thing. And he was always proud of that, but he came back and he talked to the veterans organizations and stuff about his experiences, because that's how you take history. When you experience such an incredible event, survive it, you give it into the next generation so they never forget something what happened at that event. I can tell you the Shipperstein's story, who was also a survivor of the Battle of the Bulge. That was Andrew and Freddie's dad, Fred Jr., who survived the Battle of the Bulge. 2 Clark residents who survived, attended, went through the Battle of the Bulge, and both came back and lived in Clark. I'm going to leave it at that. We have a lot going on. It's getting late. It is the end of the summer. Please be careful of these e-bikes. They're riding around. The kids are having a fun time, but it can be dangerous, especially with the glare at this time of year. The sun's going down, and it's a little bit blind. Just be careful. Thank you very much. We'll see you next month. Clark is a home. It's our home, and we are a family. We have to work together. Bye.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do you have anything to add?
No comments, thank you.
Okay. Counselor, anything? No comment. Nothing. BA?
Yeah, I just want to add something. I just looked it up fairly quickly just to get some additional information. But, again, as the council, and as the administration, we're responsible for maintaining the town and, managing risk. So, throughout the, last few years, I just Googled it now, but Inglewood Cliffs was court-ordered to put in higher density and zoning because they didn't comply with their affordable housing requirement. West Windsor Township Municipality, court-granted builders remedy, compelling them for higher density than they wanted. South Brunswick lost immunity and forced to build affordable housing at a higher density. Middletown went as far as trying to use eminent domain to take over a piece of property that they wanted to use for affordable housing, and the court came out, and again, I'm cutting it short on some of this stuff, but the municipality cannot take extraordinary measures to avoid their affordable housing requirement. Montvale had to rezone seven sites forced by court order with higher development densities. And then some additional ones, Alpine, Furlong, Fort Lee, Little Ferry, Mahwah, New Milford, Riverdale, Upper Saddle River, all were forced to have higher density and builder's remedy. So again, we continue to go down this route, but it is part of being responsible stewards of the town and making sure that we do, in fact, take care of our liability. And I don't remember who even said it anymore, but I was Googling and just trying to get the information. But as it was said by someone on the dais that, if they don't invest here, they're going to invest somewhere else, and we need to still satisfy our requirements. And that's what it really comes down to.
One thing, you reminded me of North Brunswick. They appealed, they were required to build 1,750 units. They appealed the court, and the court concluded they had to build not only the 1,750, they had to add on 1,500 more units through the appeal they did. So you need to be careful about these things.
Great, thank you. And again, our condolences to the Lewis family. Tom was my first varsity basketball coach, actually, back in the day while he was over in Rahway. Not only was he an AD, that was his, I would say, part-time job, because he spent full-time on the Clark Board of Ed, as well as running the UCIAC, Union County Interscholastic Association, where all the ADs of all the town schools in Union County reported to him. So he wore a lot of hats, and he was able to do it successful, and he was able to do it without a cell phone. So my condolences to Karen and her family, and he's surely going to be missed. So that's all I have to say this evening. Motion to adjourn. Thank you, Councilman Toll. Second. Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, see you next month.